This tiny home video is brought to you by Grammarly.
Hi, I'm Izzy.
And I'm Nate.
And this is Janice. She goes by Jan the Van for short.
And she is a 2005 T1N Sprinter with the 2.7 liter turbo diesel motor in her.
This sink bowl here we found on Amazon, and it's just like a little salad bowl. And then the spout here are just some copper tubing pieces that were angled and put together, and swivels. We really like our sink. It's simple, so here we just have a foot pump, and you just give it a couple and it comes out. We chose a foot pump so we could control the amount of water that comes out. We really like the system. So for our sink we have two 7-gallon water jugs that we hold our sink water in, which you can see there's one, the other one's right there. We've kind of just seat belt them in so they don't fall around or anything. So when you push the foot pump, the water comes from those, and then it goes down into our gray tank, which is found actually right under here. And then we have this hose here, so when we want to empty the gray tank, we can just lift out this hose and bring the water away from the van so we don't step in it when we get out. In the van we have 42 gallons of water. We have seven jugs that we keep throughout the van. We kind of try to make them even so we're not lopsided with too much water on one side. But we have 2 under the sink, we have 2 under the bed, and we have 2 back there, which you can't see, I guess. And then we keep 1 up here just for added storage. For our counter here, we have 4 different types of wood: spruce, fir, pine, and cedar that we have smushed together, a bunch of 1x2s, and it makes this beautiful countertop that we love very much. So we have our fridge here hidden under the counter, so we get the extra counter space when we're cooking or something like that. And then when we do want to access the fridge, we lift this up here, set it down, and then the fridge pops up this way and it stays open. So here we have our Berkey water purificator. This has been really helpful. A lot of times we'll be like at a stream or by a river when we find our water, so we'll kind of just take the top off, dip it into the stream, and then it will take about a couple hours, drip to the bottom, and then any water that we find will then turn into drinking water, which has been really convenient for us. Especially if we haven't been to a city in a while or something like that. So these are our Murphy bed legs, these dangly pieces of live edge wood. So they're on hinges, so when the bed comes down, these legs will ultimately come up like this, and they are used to support the bed when it is down. And then we also have these gas struts in place to make the bed lighter. When we were building, I was like unable to lift up the Murphy bed because with all the wood it ends up being like over 100 pounds, and me trying to lift it up was not a very good scene. So these gas struts actually take off a lot of the weight. The Murphy bed is kept up by this mechanism here, and you just lift it up and then it comes right back in. That has worked really well for keeping the bed in place, and it takes just a second to unclip. We have this little curtain here that hides our ski closet in the winter. So in the winter we put our skis in here, and in the summer when it's warm and we're not skiing, we put our window covers and yoga mats and different things like that. And it's just covered up by this little curtain here.
Hey everybody, Chris here from Tiny Home Tours. I want to thank all of you for watching, and also the sponsor of today's video, which is Grammarly. Grammarly is a digital writing assistant. Simply put, Grammarly helps you improve productivity and efficiency while helping you expand your vocabulary. It's very simple to download Grammarly. Just go to Grammarly.com, click the link, and download it to your browser. The free version of Grammarly checks spelling and grammar, while the premium version offers style, vocabulary suggestions, as well as a plagiarism checker. Also, the premium version includes Clarity AI that will rewrite full sentences to improve clarity and help cut down on unnecessary words for more clear and effective communication. So more recently, myself and the Tiny Home Tours team has been working on an online course. This online course will cover all things tiny living. Grammarly has been incredibly helpful, keeping the messaging clear and concise throughout the entire process. Also, before every video goes live, we run the description of each video through Grammarly, and it helps us be clear and concise with that messaging as well. Make sure to use my link, Grammarly.com/THT, to sign up for a free account and get 20% off Grammarly Premium to elevate your writing. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video.
I think YouTube videos got us trapped in it. After like many of nights, like putting on the TV, just YouTube videos of van builds and just hours and hours watching videos and like imagining what it'd be like, and then just like saying, well, we could like do that. Like, why don't we just do it then?
Yeah. I had never built a bird box before, not even a picture frame.
Nothing.
Yeah,
we had zero building experience before building the van, which was like an incredible learning opportunity for the both of us. I feel like I've learned now like life skills of just like how to use a drill. That'll be useful for sure. So we've come a long way with a lot of help and yeah. But we're proud now.
Yeah, so we're definitely proud of, coming from absolutely nothing in terms of building experience, but then also, we wouldn't have come probably halfway here without, a whole bunch of friends that helped and a whole bunch of people just dove into helping us. And yeah, YouTube was such a good resource too.
Yeah.
We wanted to include an indoor shower just because we built this right at the beginning of COVID, and we were concerned about, maybe a fitness membership at like Planet Fitness or something like that, not being able to access the gym and then getting really stanky. So we opted for an indoor shower. We treated everything with spar urethane in the vicinity of the shower just to make sure that it was completely waterproofed. And then we actually tiled all around to reinforce the waterproofing as well. And then we made our own plastic shower bin to actually hold the water, and that just drains through the bottom of the van. We have the option of either putting a bucket under there, or we can just let it drain if we're out, on BLM land or something like that. To heat the water, we use this 1.32 gallon per minute Camplux propane instant heater. Yeah, and then with the shower, so we have 2 7-gallon jerry cans back there that the pump actually sits on that back wall. So I think eventually what I'll do is just make a little hole in the back, and then we can have an outdoor shower out the back door too. For the toilet, we were originally going to build our own composting toilet, but then we were kind of on a time crunch, so we actually took just a cassette toilet, a Thetford cassette toilet, and it's worked out really well for us so far. Just like, obviously, most times we're out in the wild and don't have to worry about it too much, but those times that we've been in the city or whatnot, it's been really helpful, so that's nice. With the ceiling, we opted for cedar because of the mold and mildew resistance that it kind of naturally has. And we just did a couple of coats of natural tone Danish oil. Same thing for the protective, kind of like easy maintenance and waterproofing and scratch resistance that it offers. Much like the rest of the van, we opted for sheep's wool insulation for the ceiling, and it just ended up working really well for us. We kind of doubled up on it, and it gets between like an R14 value, so we have not had any issues with the insulation at all. So when it came to the design for electrical, we wanted to actually, most people wire it before, like it's one of the first steps of the build, but we actually opted to do it as one of the last steps of the build. I just watched a video of an electrical engineer who built out something, and he ran conduit as like the last thing, because then you can always, change any wiring. If you want to run another wire at a later point for another appliance, they're just kind of right there. And I thought that would be really easy, especially for my first electrical project ever. Just giving myself kind of that, backup plan in case I didn't wire something correctly in the first place. We just used that PVC conduit to protect the wire, electrical tape and then PVC conduit. And then we ran it through this copper tubing. We just really like the aesthetic of it with the cedar.
Initially, when we picked out our first van life van, it was a 1982 Vandura pop top, and it was really cool and stylish. But when we brought it to the mechanic and explained that we want to go on a cross-country road trip and we want to be in mountains and do all these things, it was like, well, this thing is not going to do it for you. So then our main focus after that was like, okay, well, we want an engine that is going to last long. So we went with the T1 Sprinter, because it's notorious for lasting a long time. And just being a good motor. So a lot of people that choose the fixed bed option, they have all that storage space under the bed, and we don't have quite as much maybe right under the bed, but we do still have some. To keep these doors shut, we use some magnetic strips, and they actually work really well. I have to kind of pull hard to open them, and we've had no problem with keeping these ones shut. So under the bed we store quite a few different things, and the first store is kind of like our camping gear, camping chairs, table, things like that. Under this one is some more water storage, And then over here we have like tools because we were kind of trying to build the van quickly. We were kind of on a time crunch and we have had to finish some last minute things, and having tools with us has actually been really helpful. And then this one is the electrical area, so that's where all the electrical is kept. So when the Murphy bed is up, we have these back cushions here to lean on because this can be kind of hard on your spine when you're sitting back. So we have these here, and they're kept in by Velcro. So you open it up, and these are actually the pillows that we use to sleep with. So they also act as our back cushions because we didn't really have anywhere else to put our pillows when the bed was up. So this is what we would consider our closet area. We keep all of our clothes. This is my side, this is Nate's side, and then this is kind of stuff that we both share. So in here, in our closets, we have these packing cubes that are really helpful for keeping our clothes organized so they're not just found all over the van, and then like my makeup and things like that. And Nate's side looks pretty similar. In the middle here we have our camping bin and our electronics bin, and then some other little things that we use often up here. In the lower part of the cabinets we have some water storage, which we also keep our shoes in this one. This one we keep our laundry basket, and this one is where we keep our propane for the shower.
Okay, so back here, as Izzy mentioned, we have the electrical kind of area. It's either accessible with these things, or this actually, as you can tell, hinges this way along with the front hinges that way for bigger items to be able to store in the bench area. But we have a 60 amp MPPT solar charge controller that's right here, and a 1,000 watt pure sine wave inverter that's held right here for our, just basic appliances and whatnot. It can run some power tools. And then this was a recent addition at the front, at the back here and at the front there. We just have two of these dual USB outlets that have been super helpful for charging up our phones and whatnot. But otherwise, we just use the power strip attached to the inverter to charge our computers and whatnot. The batteries themselves are two 100 amp hour AGM batteries. And we wired them to keep them at 12 volts so that all the appliances would run like easily and whatnot. But they're powered by 4 100 watt panels up on the roof, and we have had just a great time with that. It's never had any issues. It's like the lowest that our charge has gone is maybe 75%, 70%. So we definitely oversized the solar in relation to the batteries. Might be able to add a battery later on if we need to, but haven't needed to yet. So this is the house for all the electrical.